Okay. I anticipate, but 30 to an hour, I would say we have left. I looked it up, and I think the only thing that might extend that time is failure, which we did fail in the first Ash fight. So if we have anything bullshitty or any more bullshittery like that, we could be looking at a very extended playthrough. That said, I'm still gonna play Arise for a decent bit tonight. Probably set aside at least 3 hours, if not more. All right. Yeah. So I think we have Sync. Probably Van left, and then I think a slight segment of dungeon to go through after this point. That's my current guess. Again, I didn't spoil anything when I read the wiki, or not the wiki. Sorry, the walkthrough. W, things that start with W, right? But I just read the basic chain of events that we're gonna have to go through, so.
You're dead. Leave it to me. Tiger Guardian Field. Moonlight Field. Guardian Field. Aerial laser. Do not think you can escape me. Pour forth, O starlight. Another slain. Aerial laser! Vanishing solar! That's enough! That's enough! That's enough! Steel!
I'm not sure if that's even worth shooting. I guess it's not too bad to do at the end of your chain, because you can pull it out faster than you can recover to do more arrows. But it really isn't that worth it.
We're not playing around either.
The start of that really sounds like Answers, that new hymn she's got. It really does sound like she's about to say something about the land being torn asunder. It's good, and obviously there's no way in hell it's a rep. 14 came out even 1.0 came out a few moons after the fact here. Honestly, I wasn't certain if we were gonna find equipment around here or not. Kinda cool that we did. Now, why are we using Guy instead of J? Oh, that's right. Joker was asking me to try it out. I remember not entirely liking the layout, just simply due to the fact that we no longer have a caster. Or a strict caster. Tier's more of a support caster. And while we probably do more damage this direction, there's a lot of utility we're just straight missing now.
Let's go.
Ultimately, probably doesn't matter much. Keep forgetting that's aerial laser, not. Yeah, because he can do this, and it never misses, and it does a ton of damage. The AI understands how to use it, unlike Luke's.
I'll do whatever it takes.
I really do kind of hate having this being in the way of the screen, but it's hard to justify not pushing it up so it's not as much in the camera. I've talked about it a little bit. I don't know if I've really talked about it much since.
This is...
But I need a new layout. I just don't know exactly how to change what I've got right now to make this better. So we've been just kind of dealing with it.
What is it, Guy? This is my...
Used to be his old home. Ah.
It really is. It's the remains of my manor.
What?
This is a replica of Hod. I suppose it shouldn't be surprising.
So this really is Hod. Would you rather not fight, Master Van? It's not that. I never thought I'd be able to come back. It's a strange feeling.
Yes. This is the first time I've ever been to my homeland.
I can't bring myself to hate Famicry. I think it could actually do some wonderful things.
That applies to everything. Any tool can be used for wonderful or foolish things.
Even the score.
Luke, yeah, I think so too. I think maybe Yulia didn't mean for the world to follow the score exactly.
We've talked about this before. Maybe not during Abyss, but it always irks me. It's like a knee-jerk reaction whenever a character does this, like, they're like, yeah, wait, no, you're right. Okay, let's do this. It's like, the fuck is the gasp for, man? Chill. What the fuck? No, I'm getting to something here. So before people are like, oh, victims dogging on the game again. That's not what I'm getting at. It's actually something that comes with localizing or dubbing in general, and it's a necessary flaw, so to speak, that needs to exist simply due to the fact that, well, I mean, less so with these kinds of games, but there's a certain flow and pacing they need to match. Like, they can't just, and I mean, it's less noticeable the way we're doing it because I'm pressing a button every time. But some people might have the auto message clear thing, right? And with that on, they would have to do that. Also, does the game not sound like really quiet? Think about it. Anyways, so when she said, Luke, yeah, I really agree too. And she's like, Luke, I really agree too. It's like, sure, there's a world where that makes sense, but there was, two ellipses, and she mentioned it in a way that was like there should have been a pause. She should have been like, Luke, yeah, I agree too. Like, she had to think about it for a second, right? But that's just the localization. They had to match pacing. In Japanese, the way to express that was probably much faster. And thus, you notice that stuff a lot more. It's a lot harder to skip out on in things where like mouths are moving. But still, I just thought I'd mention it. It's one of those moments where like it still gets me a little bit, but I understand.
But Yulia hid the 7th phone stone, which has the score of destruction written on it.
People can't stay calm when faced with a score foretelling their death.
Yulia wanted us to overturn the score?
That's it. The 7th phonic hymn.
What?
I just remembered the first time I ever learned phonic hymns from Van. He said Yulia wished for people to overturn the score. Yulia loved the world. The Phonic Hymns are the pact that Yulia offered to Lorelei out of that love.
Van was trying to fulfill Yulia's will by rebuilding the world.
But Lorelei doesn't approve of Van's intent. That's why it's remained dormant within him.
I see. If the Phonic Hymns are the symbol of the trust
going on?
between Lorelei and Yulia,
1 second. You may have noticed their voice was lagging a little bit. My computer was doing something. I think my controller kept reconnecting to Steam, and it kept being like blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, Steam, cool, awesome, chill, awesome, I'll talk to you later. Woo, we're playing a game right now. I just
then the
closed it.
melody of the Phonic Hymns may awaken Lorelei.
Van was controlling Lorelei by force, but if Lorelei were to awaken, even Van would need to concentrate on Lorelei to prevent neural contamination.
Leaving him vulnerable. He might also lose the ability to use Lorelei's power. Tyr, you have to sing! Yeah, Tyr. If the Phonic Hymns awaken Lorelei, we can use the key to free it.
But I wonder if I can. I just now remembered the 7th one. I'm not sure if I have the melody, feeling, and lyrics correct.
You've remembered all the other ones correctly so far. Don't worry. I know you can sing it.
And it's not like we have time to stop and worry about it. I'll give it a try.
You know, thinking about it, it was mentioned a couple times that there's a room now, or talk and rumor, I should say, of them remaking or remastering some of these games, and I got thinking. Also, Phonic Hat is probably a weird one. Ooh, itchy. I mean, that's a lot of fun defense, but like, eh. I'm glad you remembered the 7th Phonic Hymn. Yes, I can't believe I ever forgot it. Van always sang it to me as a lullaby. Well, now you'll be able to sing the Grand Phonic Hymn. And together with the key of Lorelei, we can awaken Lorelei. I will awaken Lorelei and the Grand Phonic Hymn. And I'll draw Lorelei from Master Van into my sword. Right. Well, even so, we'll have to be careful. He is Van, after all. Yeah, I know. I know Master Van's strength better than anyone. Luke, let's free Lorelei. Together. Yeah. Should we level up once real quick? Like, we're looking at like maybe 2-3 fights, and the enemies respawn because of the cutscene. Yeah, we can clear them out and then go touch the free heal.
Enhance might. Sharpness.
Get out of here!
Enhance display might.
Moonlight Demon!
Sharpness.
Oh, I forgot I could be tapping X to make it go faster. Forgot we unlocked that last time.
Starstroke. Another flame.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Just trying to also upgrade sharpness. Hey, we get it up one. Wait, did only one of them respawn? Oh, weird. The one in the middle didn't.
Don't get cocky.
No! Bring it on!
Enhance this blade's might. Sharpness.
Get out of here! No! Save it!
Enhance this blade's might. Sharpness.
Demon Fist!
Star stroke.
Nothing personal.
Stat boost. The hell's that? Oh, she's got a lot of other stuff that she's unlocked over. Where did this? Oh yeah, this is how we go there. Alright, we didn't quite have enough to level up. Natalia, but everyone else did, so. Not too worried about it. I think we're good. We're going to probably beat the shit out of this dude no matter what, so. Oh, for some reason I thought there was a bigger alcove there. I was thinking like, oh. Like, what is the use of this here? Why not put a chest in there? Like, even just like some gold or something, like something useless to us right now. Something that we would entirely be just carrying over for like New Game Plus sake. Oh yeah, hit us with some like elixir gels or something like. We haven't been getting much of Onic Crest. What's that? That's a tiara. It's 50 defense. Yeah, I never understood the need for those. I'm assuming that's more or less like meant for like the min-max side of things. Like if you're running the game on like the hardest difficulty and you fucking need that last little bit of defense, running a tiara or a helmet is probably nice. The only... Oh, there was a shortcut there. Well, I mean, if you want to really call it a shortcut, it's just a fucking... This is cool, but like... I feel like whenever a JRPG puts a cool spot and you find it, and there's nothing there, it's the most disappointing thing. One of the more disappointing things to have happened. You found it. Can you imagine like Doom or something and you find a secret? There's just nothing there.
I didn't expect it to come to this.
Ash better not die. He's off screen.
You're the last! Can you hear me, Replica? Die!
No, they had to make sure we knew.
It looks like I had a little trouble. The rest is up to you.
Yeah, wasn't he gonna die anyways? It was always insinuated a little bit that he did lose something in the replication process. But nobody knew it. Only he did. I think was a common theme.
Ash is dead.
No! It can't be! Luke! Say it's not true!
Look out! It's a trap!
Natalia, we have to run. Natalia!
Ugh, we won't make it!
Damn it! Not like this! Ash, help me! What happened?
Hyperresonance. No. Second order hyperresonance? Impossible.
What was that power?
I don't know. But the moment I thought about Ash, something in me just... It was like when I destroyed Axariuth. But I think I can actually control it.
A second-order hyperresonance? You've got to be joking.
Sync!
Even with Yulia's divine protection, power like that could harm Van. You have two choices. Hand over the key and join Van, or die.
I choose neither!
Die! I choose death.
I'm freeing Lorelei. And to do that, I will defeat Master Van. And you!
Sync, you're a replica, just like Ion. Why are you helping a project like this?
I'm not like him. You know that. Ion. The seventh Ion was a naive child. He believed the score was merely one possible choice for the future. But in the end, he couldn't oppose the score. Phone Master Ion will die. That was the planet's memory. Your Ion died like a dog.
Take that back, now!
No, it's the truth. But Van's plan will destroy Lorelei itself, and with it, the seventh phonon. The score will truly vanish.
Do you really hate the score that much?
I was born because the score dictated that Phone Master Ion would die. You already know that I was thrown away once.
That's why you hate the score? Because you were thrown away?
Because I was born. I'm not even a substitute like you. I was born a piece of meat. If the score hadn't existed, I wouldn't have been stuck with this pathetic life.
Are you saying you've gained nothing since you were born?
I don't know if that's entirely true. That's kind of like the weird insinuation of like, if existence A wasn't a thing, then existence B wouldn't have come into existence. It's like, well, no, it would have been different for certain. But Famicree wasn't created for the sake of opposing the score. Jade didn't make it because he thought, oh boy, that score thing is fucking cool. He never once thought about the score when making it. Famicree would have still existed no matter what. Now, you could argue that the Phone Master may not have existed if the score wasn't a thing. But there still would have been a church. Somebody still would have been replicated. And who knows? Maybe the Phone Master would have been a part of that. And in turn, if he got sick, things could have played out the same way no matter what. I get it. And I know a lot, it's hard to tell sometimes when I'm dogging on the game or when I'm agreeing with it. But I think that's really cool, a way of him like taking it. It's what do they call that? I think it's like a something, there's a word for it, but I think it's like a fallacy of some sort. Where like, because there's no way to know one way or the other, they just assume that things would have played out differently had things been different. But there's a lot of argument to be made that that may not be true. In fact, there's a good chance in a lot of cases that that's not true. This one, there's some room for it to have been not true. But I like it. I like seeing the contrast there because it's like, I also kind of like, for as much as there's some things in this that I definitely had a problem with, I definitely think the strongest point of Abyss is the fact that they haven't been wishy-washy with their moral goal with the series or with the game rather, not the series. They're really trying to hit home on the right and wrong aspect. I think one of the issues with it, though, for certain, is that they don't know whether or not they want to state that there is a definitive right and wrong, or if they really want to go with the, morally gray. But I'm going to be real with you. They really are failing on the potential of morally gray, because some of these people really go at it. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Like I said, I've talked about this, I think, in one of the VODs, I'm sure. But D&D's alignment chart, a lot of people look at it in like very stiff meanings, but there's an actual like reason, or there's a rationale that some people will use to define them. And just to quickly go back over it for anyone that maybe doesn't know. So good and evil, and then there's neutral, and then there's law and order. So there's five steps, right? And then you combine them to make the nine pieces of the chart. Good is the idea that you would protect innocent life. Doesn't mean that you have to necessarily throw your life away to do so, like some people would value, or would envision a paladin. But to be lawful good in a sense, right? The good part of that is simply that if you saw a kid in the street being bullied or kicked, while they were down by like a grown adult or being mugged or something, you would instantly be like, oh, I hate that guy. I fucking hate that situation. That whole thing is horrible. It's abhorrent. That would be all it would take for you to necessarily, or basically to have a moral outlook on such a thing. Turning a blind eye might be a bit different, but like not being able to act doesn't affect that usually. Anyways, and then evil is the exact opposite. Evil is the idea that you have an indifference, or not an indifference, but like indifference is the right word, but there's a better way to explain that, towards innocence. You don't necessarily have a feeling of like eradication, like some people would play chaotic evil characters. Like, oh, I'm a serial killer, right? It's, well, oh, not really. I mean, yeah, they fit into that branch too, but not entirely. But it's, yeah, like I guess a better example would be like a lawful evil character is the kind of character that would exploit innocence, right? Exploit the people in order to get his way. But he's not out to like remove them, or he may even be sad that his employees died, just not for the sheer fact of, you know, because whatever. There could be ulterior motives at play. But yeah. And then neutral being the in-between. You pick and choose based on your situation, and there's a level of balance that is maintained by that. Such as you see someone who's, you know, wronged you in the past. It may not have been an evil or a good thing, but you don't care to watch them get beat up. You're like, yeah, fucking serves them right. But then you turn around and you see a kid getting kicked in the gut by like a dude, and you're like, oh, fuck you. I'm gonna get off that kid, you asshole. You know, that's kind of the neutral mentality. Obviously, I'm boiling it down to very simple terms at that point. But and then, you know, law and order. Law is the to uphold code and law and rule and so on and so forth. The idea behind it is that you you're a fan of order, of things being organized. Doesn't necessarily mean that you follow the law of the land, but like you have a fondness for order. Which is something that it probably, they shouldn't be called lawful, realistically, because that's not entirely true. It's probably a bad way of doing it, but you can't call them your order good. Lawful is just the better sounding term, right? You're lawful, or you're organized good. Okay. And then chaotic is a love for chaos. You kind of like I don't know, your friend comes with like, we're going partying, time to hit the clubs, and you're like sitting there, you see the sink full of dishes, you realize, I don't know, you get a party you gotta go to tomorrow, and if you're hungover you're probably not gonna make it, and you're like, fuck it. That's chaotic. Anyways, point is, so in a way though, I definitely do think that kind of black and white viewing of it is fine. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I feel like most times when people try to hit home on that moral, they try to hit home on the gray area, like, you know, to kind of paint the picture that society creates those guidelines and rules. And I kind of think that's what they were trying to go for, and so I'm a little weary on whether or not they did it correctly or not. But again, that could just be my own bias at play. I don't know. But
not a thing. I'm empty. But it doesn't matter. I didn't care who it was, as long as they would erase the score. The 7th phonon.
Yeah, he's definitely obsessed with something that isn't necessarily going to fix his situation, past or present. Or future for that matter, probably, but either way.
I may be inferior, but my power of the 7th phonon is that of the Phone Master. You would know if I unleashed my full power. Let's test it. You or the empty me. Let's see which side this world wants to survive.
I'm gonna go on a limb.
So, how is it fighting someone who looks just...
So, when we're in battle, things start to get loud again. It was just those cutscenes are kind of quiet. It's weird. Meh.
Just like Ion.
You might look the same, but you are not Ion.
You didn't want to live on as the Phone Master's replacement, did you?
Are you trying to tell me that I am who I am? I told you I am nothing. My existence means nothing.
For someone who thinks they mean nothing, you sure like to fight for your life.
You will not change me. I stand resolved. I'm tired of
That's
this.
someone off.
Everyone can die along with it.
Demonic boy! Oh, noble conflagration! Incinerate all!
You couldn't wait like half a second more. At least he's got the cast.
Enhanced take blade might.
Oh yeah, that's the other issue Guy has, is he's just got the health pool of a fucking toddler. Speaking of kids being kicked in the street. Alright. Oops. You somehow got... I bet you they're also missing their sharpness, aren't they? Oh, why did I think he was dead? Oh shit, that's right. We don't got much in the way of healing.
Screwed up.
You scumbag.
Leave it to me.
Using this.
Oh, holy lightning. Did that not work? Turbulent circle.
Take this. Cyclone blade.
To dance upon the wind. Brace us with your
Starstruck. This. Howling gale. Now you die.
I'm not doing too well.
No way. Take this.
Sorry, thanks.
And she's already got the resurrection going on.
Careful, that was a powerful attack.
We should be more careful.
Here, you are the furthest from the ones that should be dead right now, you asshole. Already?
Akashic torment.
I screwed up.
Turbulence.
I was in the middle of...
Oh, holy lightning. I'll heal you. Volcanic bomb. Did that not work? Parrot.
Divine mercy.
How do you like it? Frigid coffin.
I'm not doing
Aerial razor.
I'm sorry.
Aerial blade.
We are in bad times.
At this rate,
Return this soul from the abyss of death. Resurrection. No.
Take this.
Thanks for the help.
Turbulence.
Return this soul. Guard me while I'm casting.
Kind of busy here.
Aurora of the earth. Ground dashers.
Dance upon the wind.
Blizzard land.
Purify melody.
White tiger strike.
Fairy circle.
Oh, 3 circles, nice.
Turbulence. Starstroke.
We did it! He's beating our ass. We're okay. Cool.
Van, destroy Lorelei.
They're all laying down their lives for Master Van's vision.
Don't let them get to you. We're doing the same for ours, right?
Yeah. Ash too.
Ash really is dead, isn't he?
Natalia, I'm sorry. If I'd stayed with him.
Ow! What was that for?
Your actions have been a nuisance to us all, and to Ash.
To Ash?
Ash fought so Luke could kill Van, even if that wasn't his original intention. What you did interfered with that.
What? How?
I'm sorry.
I actually don't get
You're
what he's
free
talking
to care
about.
about Ash, but you must not forget what you came to do.
Yes, you're right. I'm truly sorry. I'm not the only one who's suffering. Annis and Guy both lost people dear to them. And Tyr must...
Exactly.
Jade, you called that a second-order hyperresonance, right?
Yes, but the theory behind second-order hyperresonance hasn't yet been established.
Oh, they were talking about her not moving. In all fairness, none of them tried to move either.
It's said that when two hyperresonances interact, they neutralize the effects of all phonons.
I don't know what this power is, but if it is second-order hyperresonance, then it was Ash who gave it to me, right? He and I are the only ones who can cause a hyperresonance.
Yes. Ash is inside you. Ash accepted you and gave you his power.
Yeah, I've got to put up a fight worthy of him. Guys, lend me your strength.
The complete the key of Lorelei and the jewel of Lorelei have merged to create the key of Lorelei. Is that going to be an equipable? Yes, ma'am. Also, a very strong one. Didn't we just get the better mystic symbol? Yeah, better healing. Always the always the right answer. All right, so let's remove Guy for now. Honestly, Jade was doing things a lot better. It meant that casting was being split harder because issue we were running into in that fight that made it a little bit more difficult than it probably needed to be is that both Natalia, or not Natalia, sorry, but Guy and Luke were getting killed at the same time. And it happened, I think, twice, which I think we were only in dire straits once. But we ended up using a lot of items that we probably otherwise wouldn't have needed to use. So we're gonna swap back to where we were. Annis? Huh? What's up? You don't have to look so worried. I'm okay. I'm fine. Just fine. Annis, it's okay. Thank you, idiot. Looking just like Ion, sounding just like him, but so mean and twisted. I hate you. I didn't want to see Ion die anymore. You went on about being lonely and empty, and then you went and died. It's okay, Annis. You can cry. I can only imagine what it sounds like. Ash, how could you die just like that? I just never thought that you would die. Ash, I wish I could have seen you one more time. Yeah, Essos never did see him on Algent. Well, Luke, I know this is a painful question, but how did Ash die? Surrounded by Oracle soldiers, the swords thrust in through his body. Oh, Ash! And did you feel anything enter you after that? Now that you mention it, there was a feeling like something warm was falling into me. Well, did you feel anything leave? Well, when Ash died, I felt a little weak. But other than that... Oh, yes, I see. Well, what's that about, Jade? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Ooh. Okay, so in other words, it did mean something. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the entire sync thing is fine. Ooh, my knee. And I realized I was really long-winded earlier. So to clarify what I was getting at, real quick, while I stretch out my knee, because it is... we did a lot of walking and a lot of like standing and a lot of doing stuff on Saturday. We had a family reunion, so my legs are having a bit of a hard time with the weird skewed setup I'm using right now. But yeah, so basically what I was getting at is it feels like sometimes they're pulling like the character's morality in a way that makes sense, and other times, and I know I've talked about it at length, we won't dive into it, but there's been other times where they've been like really odd about it, or brushed it off, or glossed over it, and I feel like considering that's kind of like the main point, they really should have did a better job at, like, I feel like when you have low points in a story, or a game, or otherwise, it should be definitely in the areas of the game that aren't your focal point, your focus. But it feels almost like they... I don't know. But yeah, that's all I meant earlier when I said that I feel like sometimes they are trying to do one thing and it almost feels like they're doing the other. It just comes down to the point of like they do something that is so clearly evil that there really isn't a gray area, but then they're like, whoa boy, we had to do that. Very gray area of us, am I right? It's like, no, this is pretty evil. You just murdered that little girl. What the fuck? Anyways, gee, there was no other way to do this. But on that note, oh fuck, I had another point I wanted to mention. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, either way, I don't know. Oh yeah. I was gonna mention, obviously I hate referencing World of Warcraft for anything, considering I haven't liked its story in several years now. I say several, I mean like probably closing in on like 8 years now or so. It's been a while. I would say Mists of Pandaria and maybe like the start of Warlords of Draenor was like where I started to... Actually, no, the end of Mists of Pandaria would have been when I started to hate the story. I started to do things that just felt really weird and awful and very kind of, in a way, demeaning to its player base, which was just annoying. Like, Garrosh, or whatever the hell his name was, the dude that got appointed leader of the Horde after Thrall, ended up, going full evil, trying to be, the Alpha Horde, or whatever the fuck he called it. And it ended up falling really short because all they ended up really doing was painting the Horde as the big bad evil guys again. And guess what they did with Sylvanas? They made her the big bad evil of the Horde again. But yeah, anyways, the point there that I'm getting at is they mentioned Sylvanas being the morally gray character. Despite her doing a lot of abhorrent, evil things, she burned an entire, pacifist village of tree-living people. Teldrassil, I think it was called. She just burned it to the ground. It had no military significance. You could argue, okay, sure, there's like a level of morale that's been broken, or whatever, but she literally had no reason to do it, and she said, fuck it. Peace, nerds. Bye-bye to your tree and your civilians. Among other things. And the reason why I say I hate referencing WoW in this context is because Abyss is nowhere, and I mean nowhere near that bad. That was enough to make me want to stop playing World of Warcraft. In fact, it is the entire reason I quit. I think the gameplay also has been dumbed down quite a bit, and the community is very toxic. There's a lot of reasons to not like WoW, but the point I was getting at though with that is that that one aspect is kind of what it reminded me of. Is it's like they're like, oh, we're trying to point out that there's no, or the contrast between good and evil is something a bit more gray than black and white, instead of, in turn showing the characters doing something that is by description probably not gray, so to speak. And I think that I will probably hold that opinion. I don't think I can really be swayed on that. I feel like the entire Arietta scene was horribly mismanaged in the story, and it could have been done so much better. I get it, in some regard, anime game, they're all technically kids to some extent. They're all like young adults at best. Like, I think Natalia is like 18 and Jade is like almost 30, or maybe a little older than that. But like, aside from them, everyone else is pretty much a kid. So there's an argument to be made. But it still just feels weird when you make the main cast of characters be the one to do it. That's like in a Fallout game if you had to walk through the camp of kids and the game just let you fucking like take out a Gatling gun as you and just walk through instead of doing the quest. Fallout 3, I guess, is the one. And yeah, there's people out there that would think that's fucking hilarious and that's entirely fun to do, but to me, just can't do it. I mean, and none of those people would justify that it's the right thing to do either, I suppose. They would still justify it as evil, I would hope. That's a huge exaggeration, I will admit. Just, yeah. I guess the point I'm getting at is, we will see if the ending here kind of like lifts that moral back into place. I think they did good with the entire sync portion of that though. Like, I think his character's been pretty well represented in a way that, like, obviously he's wrong, but he's stuck in his ways because it's the only way he knew how to live in a regard, in a way, sorry, it was one way of looking at it. And I like that. I think they did good with it. There was a scene right before that too that they did with fucking what's his name? Fuck, it was a really early scene not too long ago. Anyways, point is they've had a couple really good scenes back to back now. Things have developed really well. I've just been really hung up on that one horrible. Honestly, it's just so glaring to me that it hurts on both a story and a personal level, right? So it's just like a negative bias, if you will. Either way, I'm scared. My tail's shaking. So we're almost to the end. Well, I'm sure you're all aware of this, but our goal is not to battle Van, but to free Lorelei from within him, and shut down the Famicry devices on Eldrint. Yeah, that's why we have the key of Lorelei and Tears Phonic Hymns. Well, it may be a fierce battle, so prepare yourselves. Tyr, if you have a chance, sing the Grand Phonic Hymn. That should nullify some of Van's power. I'll try. And the rest of us just gang up on him, right? No. We need an escape route, so 2 of us will stay out of the battle. But we must fight with all our strength. And remember, our goal is not defeating Van. In the worst case, we need to be able to at least destroy the Famicry facilities on Eldrint. Yeah, let's follow Jade's plan. 4 of us will free Lorelei, and the others will secure our escape. Ooh, I'll help too. Right. Me too. I'll do my best. All right, let's go, everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that, like, I will probably continue to feel bad about. Having a negative opinion of the game, because I know Abyss is one of the ones that people really like. And I think it's one of those moments where, like, I've definitely held this opinion of, like, anime before, where sorry if you're gonna drink. Jeez. I mean, I love soy sauce, don't get me wrong. I'm down to drink soy sauce any day. Well, I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm not gonna go grab soy sauce just to do that, but hello, username. We are, like, stuck against the wall. I would like to not be. We learned a lot of things. Interesting. Fuck. I sidetracked myself and I forgot where I was. Oh yeah. I do always feel a little bad for that motion, and I've definitely done it with anime before, where I've forgiven them for things that, like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe they like fan service on a character that's a tad younger than, you know, Western media would do, or even get away with, for that matter. It's like, okay, I'll just ignore that part, because the rest of the anime is fun and cool. So it does make me feel a little bad sometimes when I play through a game and something just hits me at a point where I'm just not willing to concede on it, because, you know, sometimes I concede on things that other people wouldn't, and it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I end up being really unfair when otherwise, I don't know. It's funny, when I mentioned that, the first thing that came to mind was Hagen. I had to skip through entire segments of that anime because I just couldn't do it. I think we actually had this rant not too long ago, it was specifically during Abyss, where I don't necessarily, like, it doesn't bother me to experience one second. I don't know what this does. To experience that kind of stuff, like if I'm watching an anime or TV show and you know, and then like 2 people come out and start, I don't know, as the Reddit video narrator guy I watch says, passionately hug. Not like I'm like, oh no, geez, I have to turn it off. I'm offended now. No, but like, you know, but in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, I didn't need to do that. I was enjoying the show. Like, what's this fucking break for? Or something or other. Point though, when the anime we were talking about, Haganai, there's a couple scenes early on where like some of the characters, you know, I think one of them is literally like in her own head. It's not even like really happening or some shit. And it's like, okay, it's like whatever. I don't give a shit. A momentary scene, I just let it go. But like after like so long, you start to realize that the anime is literally just taking turns, stripping each one of the characters down episode to episode. And it's like, I just started skipping through it because it was so extra. And I'm like, I just want to get to the story. I was really enjoying the comedy and like romance aspect. Can we just like move this along for fuck's sakes? I actually was starting to get a little annoyed because it was like, in the second season they did away with it entirely. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know. Like, I feel like everyone makes fun of like the you know, the degenerates. You know, you play Genshin Impact, you're like, oh, you like the big booba lady, booba sword lady, woo. And like, sure, that's cool. Don't get me wrong. I am a guy, and I like, you know, I like that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I like the big number. I like the big number a bit more. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm weird like that. I don't know. But I like it separated. I guess I would rather my game be really cool, fun, awesome, big number, big flashy screen fireworks, and I'd rather if yeah, really. But like, I'd rather, you know, that for other areas. There's other areas of entertainment that you can get that kind of stuff. So just separate them. Again, for my own sanity, I'm not saying that, you know, adult content can't have adult things in it. For that matter, nothing wrong with that. Just doesn't need to be heavy-handed or obviously for fan service sake, right?
Prepare yourself.
Is it necessary that you hit me and not Jade?
Of light.
Oh yeah, we should check out the new 80s skills we got. I'm not entirely certain what they were.
Another slay. Excellent work, everyone.
I tend to look away when that happens. Yeah, I get it. In other areas of the world, they look at that stuff a lot differently. It's just like whatever. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Ooh, that did something. Oh, I don't know why that broke the wall, but I'll take it. Grandiose. Is that a core? Yes, ma'am, it is. Ooh, it's just like 3 to everything. I'm not entirely certain who I should give that to. I feel like I want it because it's for the character I'm using. What is she getting out of the one she's using? Did I go by it? 4 phone attack, 2 phone defense. So why don't we give her this one? I feel like it's so late to be worrying about this. It's fine. pretty wholesome as far as gotcha. I mean, yeah, realistically, I mean, if anyone remembers back in the beta for Genshin, a lot of the characters are wearing like stereotypical like anime panties and shit. Boy, oh boy, do I love the graphical glitches, Jesus Christ. Like I think Ayaka was wearing like, you know, like the stock standard white panties with what's it called there? Like the pink bow or whatever. And now it's like white shorts that she's wearing underneath.
Let's go! Steve!
Loose thy blade and run mine enemies through. Thunderblade!
Enhance this blade's might. Sharpness.
Aurora of the earth, bring forth the fangs of the mighty dragon.
Enhance this blade's might. Sharpness.
I'll crush him!
Center the land.
Rending quite!
Yeah, we sure showed him.
Hell, cremate mine enemies in a cage of fire. Infernal prison!
That wasn't so bad.
Hugging Sean. I just thought that was such a clever way of referencing it, because obviously for YouTube's sake, he couldn't say it for the sake of being suppressed or otherwise, right? Okay, we can't hit those, they're too high. Awkward to watch. Yeah, that's fair. That's also different kind of awkward. That's also fair. Yeah, I think like that's another thing too. It's like, don't get me wrong, I love the Witcher TV series that Netflix did. It was good. For those of you who've watched it, I mean, or even played the games, you know, there's a lot of
This looks like fun.
That's right. Take this!
a lot of pants off moments, as it were.
Mine enemies in a cage of fire.
Sharpness.
Infernal prison!
And I don't know. I just don't think that like
This blade's might.
I care for it that much. And keep in mind, this is a show that I was like hyping up to my mom. I was like, oh my god, I love the games. And they're making like a live action, and it's really hard to get my mom to watch anything that isn't live action for that matter. So it was like one of those moments of like, it's like, well, I'm kind of glad we didn't watch it, because this has been fucking awkward as all hell to watch. Well, every team can do things. Not well, but it can do them. Nice.
Let's go! Burning thrust!
Flames of hell, cremate mine enemies in a cage of fire. Infernal prison!
Bring it on!
Did we get it in time?
Enhance this blade's might.
No, we didn't.
You're mine! Who's next?
Starstroke.
I actually half forget how we got on this topic.
Excellent work, everyone.
Oh yeah. I remember how we. Okay, we were talking about how Japan just has like a different outlook on these kinds of things, right? In reference. Oh, something is gonna change here. In reference to I don't know how that helps us. gonna have to reset the room. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, there's a puzzle here. You threw Wid Sith on Mona. Funny joke. So GTA, remember? I think we mentioned this to you the other night, but there is 3-star weapons in the game that are actually so good people have jokingly considered them to be 6-star weapons. One such weapon is a weapon you might actually consider using on your Mona. Unless you want to turn her into like a DPS or something else. Is there any way to reset this? I feel like I did wrong here. One of those such weapons though is called a weapon called Thrilling Tales of Dragons, something like that.
These guys are wimps.
And what it is when it's fully ascended, or refined rather, not ascended, refined, it'll give a 48% damage boost to whoever you swap to from that character. It's an amazing weapon. Yeah, it's to a point that like.
Farewell.
Kidder was the meme I was doing. Yeah. On top of that, there's the I think the one that we mentioned directly to you is the Harbinger of Dawn. It's a little hard to use on some characters, but it's so good on ones that you can use it on. It's just so much stats that people are actually surprised they put it on a 3-star. I still don't really know what knocking those over did for me. I'm assuming we're going to be able to interact with something eventually.
We have no choice. Almighty explosion. Energy blast.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I think GTA, you were the one who mentioned it, that fantasy world and so on and so forth, but like, yeah, I think honestly, oops, I didn't mean to do that. That was the wrong button. A good chunk of the the Arietta scene was probably more or less them not.
That was acceptable.
If like they probably didn't view it in that same light. Ever watch Drifting Dragons? Oh, I tried to watch it, but it really, I don't know. I'm usually not bothered by that kind of stuff. So like hunting and whatever. But it just felt weird to me. It felt like there was an underlying thing that was being mentioned in the anime that just Japanese people just very clearly do not get. And there was a point that they were touching on that I don't think they fully understood, and it really rubbed me the wrong way, which is odd considering like one whole half of my family is the exact same way in the real world. But at the same time, it just felt weird in an anime, so I was off-put. I was like, yeah, not really my thing. I was like, for context, I forget how it was stated. I only watched like a few episodes, but basically they were like hunting dragons because it's just part of what their world does. You come to find out that they're not entirely unintelligent creatures, and or something, or that was what they're hinting at or something. Again, I only watched a few episodes, so I don't know the whole context. And there was like some other stuff that went on with it, and I don't know. I just there was like something about it that just was like, I'm not I'm not about this. I don't know. Not to say there's anything wrong with it. It didn't seem like something I was going to enjoy. What are we supposed to do with this?
We have no choice.
Even this!
Arise, O violent waters, to rout mine enemies! Blessed drop!
Reminds me of Monster and tree hunting.
Thunderland!
Yeah, I can see that. I think one of the saving graces for me in Monster Hunter,
Prepare yourself!
is that most of the time in Monster Hunter, you're not really hunting something for like no purpose. Like there's at least like a purpose to it.
Excellent work, everyone.
Obviously, in gameplay terms, you're just hunting them endlessly for the sake of gear and loot. But like story-wise, usually it's like, oh, they're encroaching on our territory. They might attack the village. They've been causing trouble to our supply lines, so on and so forth. But again, I didn't watch much of Drifting Dragon, so I don't want to like pretend like I'm, totally understanding of where they were going with it. But I don't know, I got the vibe that they were going to pull out this thing where the whole time they were doing this, it ended up being,
I feel a really, really scary power ahead.
you know, a reason all the time, or a good one. I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. It's like, yeah, I see the contrast.
Yeah, even I can feel it. Master Van is here.
So what's the puzzle behind us for? I'm assuming loot?
Once we go past this point, we probably can't come back.
There's no need to come back. We're going to defeat Van and put an end to everything.
You make it sound so simple.
It is. They believe that the planet's memory sets the future in stone, so they seek to erase it. We believe that the planet's memory is but one of infinite choices, that the future can be changed. I'm not particularly fond of this word, but our faith is simply different. We've reached a point where the matter cannot be resolved with words.
Okay, I mean, again, I only watched
Yes,
like
Van
2 or 3
has
episodes.
Lorelei inside himself.
And it almost felt like that's what they were insinuating. But
If Lorelei perishes, the world will attempt to recover 7 phonons, destroying their balance.
I'm also curious if I had another gripe with the show or something, because I don't know. That's where my brain went, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I had another gripe and I'm just misremembering. Again, my memory is not the greatest. I could be even thinking of something entirely different, too. In all fairness, but
Luke, we've come here to stop that. It's not like the last time.
and in let me tell you it ends. Maybe not. Just for the sake of anyone else that maybe wants to watch it. Maybe you've piqued someone's interest. But yeah, just for like record's sake. It was not like it was a moral thing. It was just one of those moments of like, I don't know. I feel like in a context of that kind of stuff. I grew up around a lot of hunting. I mean, my grandfather used to hunt. My dad has been on hunting trips before. On my dad's side, my papa, my great-grandfather, and so on and so forth, all hunted. And pretty much my entire mom's side of the family are hunters. It's not like it's a moral thing for me. Though I always did have a problem with people who hunted simply for trophy and no other reason. There's something just evil about killing something and then mounting its head and throwing the rest of it in the ditch. It's like, yeah, dude, that's meat. Someone could have eaten that, man. What the fuck? Anyways. So yeah, just for like the record, because I realized I was being vague, mostly because I couldn't quite remember the anime, and I only watched a little bit of it, and I realized I was kind of drawing a conclusion about something I hadn't really finished. But yeah, no, I felt like it was gonna end up being one of those like moral conundrums of like, oh no, this thing that we need to do to survive and blah 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 ended up being evil and wrong the whole time. Oops. Our bad. Which reminds me of something else that I can't recall the name of right now. But ending of the anime. No, that's what I was saying. Is like I think they did that part well. That actually was fine. They, which there's a real world contrast to be drawn here, based on the people who made that anime. But we won't get it. We won't get into that. At least the main protagonist. Yeah, it says like, yeah, that was a fine part. I don't know. Maybe I should sit down and watch it and just try to remember why I had that feeling, and maybe I won't have that feeling this time. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot. You know, I've been looking for something to watch. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to sit down and finish it. Treated as arrogant fools. Hey, at least they know the stuff. Okay.
We understand what Van is trying to do, and we cannot accept it.
Yeah, it's irresponsible to just erase everything and start all over again.
Yeah, it sucks because I feel like. So I'll explain my anxiousness with this. It was one of those moments where like I feel like sharing my opinion on that is odd. Because while I have a very clear-cut opinion of hunting, I couldn't quite remember why I didn't like the show, and I feel like I drew a conclusion there that like I was very wishy-washy on, mostly because I couldn't remember if I was remembering it the way that it happened, or if my brain was piecing things together wrong, or what. But anyways, honestly, for all I remember, I could have just sympathized with the dragons because they were dragons. I'm a big dragon guy. Can I pull this out without making a huge mess? Sure can. Just like as an example, I own all of the Dragonology books. They're like books that talk about dragons as if they were real, and like there's a real study behind them. It's all fiction, obviously, but. So for the sake of explaining myself, that very much could be all it was. And so I was hesitant, and that's all that was. Yes, no, GTA, you say that as a joke, but yes, I was 110% that guy. I was entirely that guy. I still am to some extent. I hate when it's a bit annoying when like games throw out terms like Drake, Dragon, Wyvern, or there's a couple of other terms, and then they just like use them interchangeably. It's like at that point, I'm not as like there would have been a point where I was like, listen, it's not a dragon, it's a wyvern. It's only got 2 legs. No, both aren't real serious. No. That's a true statement. But now my only real gripe with it is like, I don't know, why bother like with terms and terminology if you're just gonna use them interchangeably? Like, come on, man. I feel like at that point I'm more annoyed about like the writing prospect of it, not so much the actual context anymore. But funny enough, D&D tries to do weird shit with that too. Like drakes are like dumb dragons. If I recall correctly. Wyverns are unintelligent dragons, but with only 2 legs, and then dragons are like, or they call them true dragons, but there's no differentiation. There's no dragon. It's just true dragon, and they are, you know, hyper intelligent, holier than thou, better than the human race of beings, so on and so forth.
If we were going to follow the score and die, it would be people's responsibility to accept that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, something that people should keep in mind, and I feel like it's something that is entirely missed by the it's not a dragon, it's a wyvern argument, is strictly the fact that they're both dragons. Wyverns are a type of dragon most times.
But we realized along the way that we could work together to avoid that. So we're going to live our lives. We're going to walk our own path. We're going to shove the Commandant's ideas up his ass. Luke, I kept thinking about you and Ash. I wish that Ash would come back to Kimlaska and support Father, together with you. But I was wrong. You and Ash each had your own path.
You know what I mean? The story arc is just like, really? I loved
I've been
it.
trying to tie both of you down with a promise that
Oh,
Ash
shit,
is
my bad.
inside you now. In the past, I might have mixed you and Ash together in my mind. But you're you. So please, live the way you want to live. I'll do everything in my power to support you so you can do that, as your childhood friend.
You've barely begun to be you, and you bear the weight of countless lives. You have to live enough to make up for the lives you've consumed.
So do you, guy, asshole?
Yeah. Just 7 years, and I'm covered in blood.
What I'm saying is cruel. Live and keep living. The whole time carrying the weight of that malice, hatred, grief, and anger.
I always hated this sentiment. It's like, yeah, sure, you shouldn't forget them, but like, bro, can you like chill? What, do you want to live? You want him to live staring out the window his whole fucking life? Like, cause that's the route you're taking him down, guy. Like, fuck. Everyone's so harsh.
But I won't let you carry it alone. I'm the same as you.
There we go, finally owning up to his mistakes.
Even if the whole world rejected you, I'd still be here, by your side.
I get it. They're just trying to insinuate the gravity of the situation, and they're kind of overblowing it a bit. It's whatever.
I'm not like the 6 god generals. I'm going to help you by staying alive.
Luke, let's go. So we can rewrite Van's future with our own.
Yeah.
Master Van isn't going to fool on... No, I doubt he went easy on us before. It's likely he underestimated our abilities. But he's lost to us once. He won't do that again. He'll use all of his strength from the start. Well, we're stronger too. We can't lose. Yes, we carry the hopes of thousands. No, of millions of people. We will defeat Van. Now. Let's not get overly excited. Let's proceed calmly. Yeah, I know. Now's the time to have to stay cool, right? Yes, exactly. I'm just gonna stop. We've already missed so much of the dialogue. So I'm confused. What is this puzzle that we have? There's like some doors that we were unable to open, and a gem here that we couldn't interact with. So what is the point of all this? Like, did we fuck it up somehow? I noticed I could have hit this a couple different directions. I'm not entirely certain what this is either. Whatever, I'm just gonna chalk it up to it potentially being a puzzle that we just somehow didn't understand and did wrong. Probably just like some cores or stuff that would probably help us during like New Game Plus or something. Oops, I was trying to do something and kind of
These guys are whips.
fucked that up.
You're mine.
What do you... Wasn't even anything near him when he did that.
O maddening gala of the spirits of the earth. Come on, Mike! Take that!
Aerial laser!
Arise, O violent waters, to rout mine
Leave
enemy!
it to me.
Blessed drop!
I'll do whatever it takes.
We also forgot to check out our new AD skills. Cool. Okay. Oh, cool. Oh. Nice. Oh. Oh. Cool. Awesome. Ah. Alright, well that's, I guess, one extra thing down. I'm still entirely lost on what the fuck else we're supposed to do here. But I'm thinking it doesn't matter. We're just missing elixirs, basically, probably. So let's just go beat up Van. No, not certain. I'm probably gonna saved, but all right. Said we'd be an hour. This was
I expected Ash.
hour and a half. Oops. I think part of that's because we just rambled. It's whatever.
Ash is here too. He's inside me, lending me his strength.
Second order hyperresonance. You've surpassed your original. You are now a true human being.
Really? Because I bet you can't do second order hyperresonance.
You've stepped across a sea of corpses and made it here. Now, join me, Luke. We will destroy the planet's memory and overturn the score of final judgment.
No.
Well, well. Why not?
I finally understand what it is I wanted. I wanted you to acknowledge me, to accept me as a human being, not a replica.
Yes. And you have become a human being.
But that's not enough. You said to me, can you not live unless you were born for some purpose? I'm not living for anyone else. There's no special meaning in living. When I sensed my own death, I wanted to live. I know now. That's all I needed. So, I don't need you anymore. It doesn't matter if you accept me or not. Here I am, alive!
Yeah, eat it, Van.
You've acquired some impudent wisdom.
Van, people can change, just as Luke has. Reconsider one more time. The planet's memory may exist just as you say, but is it really absolute? Luke isn't here because it's written. He's here because he chooses to be. The planet's memory is one possible choice for a future, but only people make that choice.
That isn't absolute either. You might not be choosing, but rather being made to choose.
If so, maybe you're being made to choose to destroy the planet's memory. If you say you've decided to erase the planet's memory of your own will, then that itself is proof that the planet's memory isn't absolute.
That's an empty argument. Yulia's score represents the planet's memory I speak of.
No, Van, I think that's literally the point. But
The
anyways.
destruction of mankind is written in it. The destruction of the planet's memory is not.
So you will carry out that destruction with the originals, then create a replica world. That's no different than those who let Hod be destroyed. That's why Ash rejected you. Didn't you resent the destruction of Hod and despise those who caused it?
Oh, really?
I did. But I must do whatever it takes to destroy the absolute path of the planet's memory.
It's strange to hear that from such a wise man. People and planets all eventually die. Regardless of whether the planet has a memory or not, that alone is guaranteed. Even if the absolute path you speak of exists, people have the right to choose their own path to destruction.
Fitting words for a necromancer. Everything dies. It's merely a matter of time. But the planet's memory calls for it too soon. I cannot accept perishing early the way you can.
But you're trying to destroy the originals even earlier than the planet's memory. You hate the score so much, you're shackled to it more than anyone else.
I
Oh, I didn't mean to skip
us
that.
are bound to the future we call the score.
He was gonna say perhaps so. Oh, really? I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. For me, comic books are really hit or miss. I've talked about this at length. I feel like a lot of the superhero premises are okay. not bad. Some of them are horrible, I guess, but for the most part, not bad. And I have some, you know, some beloved. I've talked about before. I really liked Static Shock as a kid. Spider-Man, Batman, obviously, you know, so on and so forth. But like, the issue I always have with comic books is how much they rehash them, rather than just making new ones, and how many reboots of movies we've had over the years. Like, we have a billion Batmans, a billion Supermans, we have a billion Spider-Mans. We have several Wolverines and several Hulks and several Iron Mans, and well, I mean, at least in the movies, they're not so much rehashes as continuations, which is okay. But like, but there's like a billion superheroes that are just being left by the, you know, by the wayside. I don't know what metaphor to use here. That'd be so cool to get their own video game, movie, or otherwise, and they just don't. Because there's more money in a Spider-Man than there is money in a so on and so forth, but you do you, GTA. You do you.
We believe we can choose our future.
So I'm really hesitant to watch a lot of the Marvel stuff. Not to mention what I have watched has been pretty bad. I get that I started midway through, but still.
I know the future is predetermined. As I thought. It would seem we cannot see eye to eye.
Yeah, I got invited along to watch Civil War, even though I hadn't really been watching the movies that much. And I just didn't like it. It felt very... like, I don't even think it was like a point of not getting it. It just felt like there was a lot of forced scenes that didn't need to exist. Like some decent choreography at times, but otherwise rather lame.
Draw your weapons. I'll take you all on at once.
Van, prepare.
Did I?
Take that.
Oh, violent sword.
Sonic thrust.
Take this.
The flames of hell cremate my enemies in a cage of fire. Infernal prison.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Spell saving.
Arise, O violent waters, to rout mine enemies.
Ooh. Fuck. Spell saving's a bit hard to do. Because we can't change targets on the fly like that.
Looks like we're still okay.
This is definitely the end.
The phonic hymns. Their melody will indeed awaken Lorelei. But you don't know the true wish contained in those hymns. They won't work on me.
I don't know why it is. The game is so quiet at this point in the game for some reason. Like, it's just... We'll turn it up to 75. I'll try to turn it down if things get a little too loud, but...
No, brother. I do know. I can feel the thoughts and emotions Yulia placed in these hymns.
If that's true, Mysterica, then sing. Now, for me.
I'm so dead.
I'll destroy Imperial Slaughter!
You missed.
Cure!
we are not looking so hot. I don't know if that can be used on the dead or not.
Return this soul from the abyss of death.
Take heed. Leave it to me.
Sonic, careful! That was a powerful attack.
We should be more careful. Do not think you can escape me. Pour forth, O starlight!
No, we just need a lemon gel.
Such lamentation! I'll destroy Imperial slaughter!
You missed.
Don't neglect the enemy opponents!
I'll get him next time.
Find enemies of my No!
Oh, cool.
Not yet!
Die!
Too slow! Have you forgotten? I'm the one who taught you the sword.
Release Lorelei!
You've grown strong.
What? Uh-oh, nanomachines.
Van.
To think you could push me this far. It seems I have no choice but to unleash this terrible power within me.
You can play college ball, you know.
So, he's finally used it. But I will be victorious!
I won't lose. These arrows will send you to the depths of the abyss.
She said it. She said the game.
You have strong allies, Luke.
They've supported me through everything. For their sake, I can't lose. No. For my own existence, I will not lose!
When you use Lorelei's power, your control over Lorelei weakens.
Pharmacy brand Sephiroth. Oh, Tyr, you okay? Tyr, you okay? She's having a bit of a moment.
Luke recognized that and forced you to use it. The same Luke you refused to acknowledge for so long. Luke will not... No, we will not lose!
I commend you for making me use this power. I would expect no less from my student. But that, too, ends now. Goodbye. Luke!
Hi there, I'm not Luke.
Howl the raging wind and seize my enemies with your blade!
Bring it on!
Turbulence!
Oh, divine embrace.
So I don't die. Just kidding. Here we go. I'm dying. Here, if you would,
Negative gate!
Watch out!
Thank you.
So dead.
Open power. No!
Oh, divine embrace that fosters life. Cure.
Negative kick.
I can't move.
So, die.
Hello? Motherfucker.
Enough of this.
Yeah, we need Tyr to be able to cast.
Return the soul from the abyss of death. Resurrection!
This is not good.
Thank you.
Negative polarizing strike.
Return the soul from the abyss of death. Resurrection!
A divine embrace that fosters life. Cure.
Thanks for the help.
Ground dash.
Return the soul.
Not make it.
Resurrection! Starstroke!
Sorry for the trouble.
Take this. Radiant strike.
Come forth for illumination of...
Pretty certain that's about to miss us. If it doesn't, I will, I guess, eat shit, but...
Life. Here!
Yeah.
Circle!
So,
Negative kick.
I thought she was casting, Make Luke Not Dead No More.
Thanks for the help.
Pulverizing strike. Crushing spear. Out of my sight.
Take heed.
Sorry for the trouble.
Ground dash. Radiant strike. Sovereign gale. Enough of this.
Enhance this blade's might.
Thanks for the help.
Sharpness.
Enough of this. Feel lightning. Lightning tempest.
Enhance this blade's might. Sharpness.
Prepare yourself. Behold the power of Lorelei.
Well, at least
Well, ancient requiem.
he missed. We don't got many of these left there, Luke. So, fuck off.
Come forth for illumination of life.
Judgment.
You too, Tyr. You, definitely should not be the one dying.
Take heed.
That's enough!
Energy blast. This is not good.
Oh, when undefiled, embrace those who would be our enemies. Innocent shine!
Take heed.
Thank you. Return the soul from the
Enemies
abyss
of
of
light
death.
stress. Radiant flame burst.
Resurrection!
Take this.
Thanks for the help.
Take this.
Enhance
Radiant
Demon fist.
this blade emitter.
Illumination of life.
Ooh, Blaze Emitter is good. Basically means I don't gotta fuck with him no more.
guardian.
Healing circle.
I apologize.
Return the soul from the abyss of death. Resurrection!
Take heed.
Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. Demon fist.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Sonic spear.
Watch yourself.
Sorry.
Enough of this. Take this.
Fang blade.
Radiant strike.
Return the soul.
Take this. Radiant strike.
Resurrection!
Take this. Radiant strike. Out of my sight. Behold the power of Lorelei. Farewell. Ancient requiem.
Return the soul from the abyss of death. Resurrection!
Thanks for the help.
Judgment.
Demon fist.
Take this.
Okay. What's the play here?
I'm so dead. Watch yourself.
Sorry.
Cool.
Out of my sight! Be gone!
Return the soul from the abyss. No! Ah!
Farewell.
Okay. I didn't realize this was gonna be that long. Basically, they were just like, oh, we can't hurt him during the blah blah blah. Also, I really hate the fact that we can't restart fights in this. I don't know why they did away with that idea. Like, why is that something they removed from the game? See, we wing bottle. We have to run so far to get back here. But we are so out of items, it's not even funny. Anyways, had a footman in a storm. Killed it from map. Nice.
I feel a really, really scary.
Yeah, once
There.
you make
It is. We've.
Yeah. If Luke, we.
If, but, sir, Luke, but
You have. Yeah, what I'm. The whole. But I'm not.
Luke. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to do the skit. Oh well. We already watched it. I just like to for stats page wise, but whatever. God, I wish we could skip these. That's another thing too. It's like, man, I don't want to rewatch the cutscene after we've already fucking experienced it. Like, failing and reloading to redo the fight isn't the problem. It's the everything else in between.
Well, what? Yes.
But that I'm not. When so, it doesn't matter.
the Luke. The
If you then
that did.
It. Rig. Even people.
Fit. Every.
But you.
As I draw you.
Van.
Alrighty.
Take this!
Enhance this blade's might.
divine spear.
Oh,
Run
flames
my
of hell,
enemies.
cremate mine enemies and infernal fire! Infernal prison!
Piercing flash. Light flash.
Protection.
Enhance
Oh,
this
flames of
blade's
hell,
might.
cremate mine enemies and infernal fire! Infernal prison!
Piercing light.
Thunderland! Take fire!
Hear thy holy
Pouring hell! Out of my sight!
Demon fist.
Take this! Oh, violent torrent!
Fuck, can you stop with that?
Grant my enemies a final rest. Flame burst!
There we go. Ultimately be a villain. Yeah, honestly.
But
No, I can.
if that.
such lamentation!
Starstroke!
I'll destroy the Imperial Slaughter! Something clear! You're flying heavy! Celestial
We're in danger.
I never understood games that decided that there needed to be this like big AoE attack to just reduce everyone to like no HP.
Out of my sight!
Like,
Take heed. Sorry. This is my failure. I'm sorry.
that hit the whole map. I want people to be aware of this.
Thank you.
Negative gate!
Return this.
Suffer! Ground dash!
You. I
The
have
planet memory
failed.
itself will die!
Yeah, once
It is. We've.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a defense against a Mystica,
If- but
meaning
we-
it being
sorry.
map wide or screen wide is fucking stupid.
But I'll.
You have what I'm the whole, but you. I'm not.
Luke. So
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't really remember what happened the first time, how we got through it. I think we just managed to get heals out as it was happening. I'm not certain how we would do it. I don't think there's a way of dodging them that I'm aware of.
I wanted,
Yeah.
but when I. It
Maybe there is, and I accidentally did it. I'm not sure.
Luke. The pl
Let it.
If you then
That's a dis.
So that's no. Didn't.
It's regard. Even people.
Fit. Every.
But you.
we.
As I. Draw your.
Van. Bring it on.
Take this! Radiant Breath!
No way. Even this.
Take this! Radiant
Oh,
Breath!
divine embrace that fosters life.
No, I actually cast heal.
Swallow Fury.
Oh, flames of hell, cremate mine enemies in a cage of fire! Infernal prison!
Display
Swallow Fury.
Careful. That was a powerful attack.
You watch out too.
Take this! Radiant Breath! Round Dasher! Almighty explosion! Energy blast! Out of my sight! Wind and cleave my enemies with your blade! Turbulence!
Such thankfully heaven.
I'll destroy Imperial Slaughter!
So uncool.
Oh, if you mean like this, he has like 4 or 5 different ones, I think. We really need here to just resurrect him. If we have to keep using items.
Radiant Strike!
Resurrection.
Arise, O violent waters, to rout mine enemies! Divine
Oh, I wish I could cancel my attack.
No, I.
If
Take this! Radiant Dragon! Arise, O Valiant Warriors, to ravage my enemies!
First aid!
Let's drop!
Careful, that was a powerful attack. We should
Be more careful. We're in danger.
Yeah, again, it just deleted us.
Take heed.
resurrection.
I'm sorry I couldn't help.
Don't feel sorry. Focus on the enemy. Flame Blast!
Oh, Spirit,
On my side.
embrace the line. Stay focused.
I'll get him next time.
Cure.
Infernal Prison! Thunderland!
First aid.
Oh, divine embrace that fosters life.
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Cure.
Come forth, take illumination.
Patient! I'll destroy Imperial!
Return the soul
Sonic
from
Spear!
the abyss of death. Resurrection.
Piercing line.
Be gone!
Piercing line.
Be gone! No! Not yet!
Jesus. Okay.
have you
Release!
to think it's
Your thieves.
When look, no.
but
This is not good. Enough of you!
Oh, healing body.
Sonic! Take that! Radiant Strike!
Oh, divine embrace that fosters life. Cure.
Radiant Strike!
Cool. They both just straight ran in and died. Awesome. Favorite thing for my allies to do.
Take heed.
Return the soul from the abyss of death.
Starstroke.
Resurrection.
Piercing line.
Sonic Spear!
Oh, divine embrace that fosters life. Cure.
Ground Gust! It's not good! Pulverizing Strike! Crushing Spear! Take this!
Take heed.
Thank you.
Enough of you!
Return the soul from the abyss of death.
Feudal resurrection. Take heed.
Thanks for the help.
Negative hit!
Leave it to me.
Sonic Spear! Covering Gale! My sight!
Illumination of life.
Starstroke.
Behold the power of Lorelei!
You fucker.
Farewell! Ancient Requiem!
misjudged you.
Starstroke.
Return the soul
Do
from
not
the
think
abyss
you
of
can
death.
escape me. Pour forth, O starlight. Take heed.
Thanks for the help.
Return this soul from the abyss of death. Resurrection.
Demon fist!
Sorry for the trouble.
Be gone!
So dead. Melody of divine
Oh,
mercy.
divine embrace that fosters life.
Judgment! Grant mine enemies a final breath.
Burning thrust!
Flame burst! Take this! Radiant thrust!
Demon fist!
Oh, divine embrace
Flame
that
burst.
fosters life.
Sonic! Light
Cure.
cannon!
Enough of this!
Come forth, O illumination of life. Healing circle.
Take this! Radiant thrust! Howl, O raging wind, and breathe mine enemies with your rage!
Right!
Turbulent! O darkened storm cloud, loose thy blade and run mine enemies through! Thunderblade!
Take heed.
Franklin Ray!
Take this! Like a tiger blade! This is not
So dead!
Take heed.
Behold the power of Lorelei! Farewell! Ancient Requiem!
Take heed.
Take this!
Melody of divine mercy.
Demon fist!
Oh, divine embrace that fosters life. Cure. Take heed.
Oh, healing power.
Enough of this!
First aid.
No way!
Here.
All right, we're making good time.
Demon fist! Sonic!
Help! Cremate mine enemies in a cage of fire! Infernal prison! Prepare yourself!
Damn it! What is this power?
All right.
Lorelei is going out of control within Van. It's drawing in our phonons. At this rate, our life itself will be drained.
No!
Luke, the second order hyperresonance. It can neutralize any phonon.
I'm going to free Lorelei. Tyr, help me!
Right.
Querese quadio tuese, quadio se tuelio nei neu se, parece te, nel tuelio te cru, neu le quadio se le versele. Vale, 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 vasile, Claudio, 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 se leva, levane, Claudio, Telese, Claudio, Tese, Claudio, se telio, se, parece te cru, le Claudio, se leva, se vale, 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 vasile, Claudio, 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 se leva, levane, Claudio,
Center the land.
Yeah, I think so. That was pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. I also love how the AI knew what to do.
Seventh melody. You've learned it. Tyr.
It was you were supposed to Mystic Art finish him. Oh, this is auto scrolling. I didn't touch anything.
I remembered. You sang it to me while I cried.
In Eternia, they
You
had a
knew what the phonic hymn meant. You were telling me everything. Right from the start. Thank you, Van.
Farewell, Mysterica.
Master Van!
Stop! After all that's happened, you still call me Master. You fool.
Oh, great. What, phase
Forgive
like
me.
6 at this point?
My brethren.
Master Van! Thank you!
Goodbye, my beloved brother.
Oh yeah, something. We need to get the fuck out of here.
All right. Everybody hurry up and escape. I'll stay here and free Lorelei.
Luke!
It's my promise to Lorelei. This is what I need to do. Jade?
Luke, how you've changed.
I was really bad, wasn't I?
But no matter how much you change or regret your actions, not all of what you've done will be forgiven. And that's why you must come back alive. Rather, I hope you do.
Jade, shut up.
Sorry.
I'll be waiting. It's lonely being a servant without a master.
Hey, you're not my servant anymore.
So I'm not a servant in the manor. I'd still serve as your friend.
You're being stupid.
So hurry back home. I'll never forgive you if you just disappear.
You knew, huh?
When you come home, I'm gonna teach you not to hide things from your friends.
Annis?
I knew too. I wasn't as sure as Guy, but
What are you talking about?
you're an easy read. But I have to have you come back alive.
You're not expecting me to... We're not...
No. I'm going to reform the order for Ion. But in order to do that, I need a patron. So, come home.
Whatever.
Luke, live. Please. I don't want to lose any more people dear to me.
Natalia.
Not to protect Kim Laska. To live your life. Understand?
I wanted to live.
You will. You cannot disappear. You cannot.
Thanks.
Master!
Your job's done now. Go home and be proud of what you did.
I'll be waiting for your return, Master.
Thanks.
Come home.
Tear.
You have to come home. You have to. I'll be waiting. Always.
I will. I promise. I'll come home.
Luke, I love you.
Whoa. Whoa. That's different.
Tear!
It's unusual that a Tales of game is so blatant about it. Usually it's left in the air. Like they show it, but they never really tell it, you know what I mean? That's the first time I've seen in a Tales game them be a bit more forthcoming. In Destiny, they were a bit forthcoming about it. He ain't dead. He just let you borrow his soul for a little bit. Wait, actually, did he just move? I might be crazy. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention.
So the world did not vanish. To think the future I saw would be rewritten. You have done admirably.
So the future he saw was that he would be erased. That Van would succeed. So us succeeding was basically Van's goal being realized, even though he didn't know it. Or more specifically, his goal wouldn't have given him the resolution he wanted. This is the resolution that he would have wanted, I think. I think that's also kind of what he was telling Tyr, or what Tyr was telling him as well. But are they not gonna show us what happened? I mean, I think Luke probably survived. Roll check. Well, hey, during the credits, I like to do like a bit of a mini review for the game. My final thoughts, if you will. I'm gonna say I was pretty mean, pretty harsh, pretty critical of Abyss. It started with Guy's backstory, mostly. And I feel like I was very disillusioned. Or the illusion was ripped from me. I don't know, however you want to phrase it. I didn't like the Arietta scene. I feel like there was a lot of context that was just straight up ignored by it. They directly contradicted themselves a lot with the way that they wanted to portray the morals in the story. And I feel like that's one of the key elements in a story. And I think that nothing they could have really done forward from that point would have ever really fixed that. Again, we contrasted a bit with World of Warcraft, and it's kind of the same thing in World of Warcraft. They're trying to fix it desperately with every single patch, every single story update and raid and whatever, but they just aren't able to do it. It's just never ever going to be a thing that they can really fix. It's one of the few things I think in writing that is, this might sound over the top, but irredeemable. It's one of those moments that you have to move from it. You need to do something new at that point, obviously. But I do want to say, I don't think this game necessarily did it to such a large extent that it necessarily killed the game for me, or for anyone for that matter. As I know, a lot of people still love the game, and it's probably among their favorites. Remember, Vic? Nothing we in 14 made me think, or made us think, all of us, whatever. Yeah, that's fair. And don't get me wrong, there's always outliers and differing things, like, whatever. I'm not, and it's not like these are the laws of the land or the rules of thumb at best, right? But I don't want anyone to think that I didn't like the game. I guess is kind of where I'm going at. I'm laying it all on the table at this point. I don't do well with death to begin with. I'm very, very critical of it. I mean, in a bias level, I'm a little annoyed by it. But even in ignoring my own biases, I tend to look at it from an angle of like, what did this give to the story? What did this provide to the consumer or the whatever, right? A lot of the times I tend to lean into like, this is only done to to invoke or invoke, whatever. Provide a very baseless, easy emotion for the viewer, right? And it's just like, oh, okay, you literally did that just because you knew like it would be an easy thing to whatever. I don't think this game ever did that though, which is a bonus for me. Even if there was a couple of deaths they mishandled it horribly. I don't think that they necessarily did it out of any like, disregard for our intelligence, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this. Aside from that, but yeah, I think ultimately, if I had to give a score to the game, based on everything, like gameplay, story, whatever, I think it probably sits at about like a 6 or a 6.5. Now, I am not IGN. By the way, we're getting the scene here, I think. I'm not IGN. My 6.5 is a pretty decent score, realistically. A 5 is where you want your game to hit. 5 out of 7, perfect score. If a game hits 5 on my scale, they've done the bare minimum of what a release should be. That is par. You get that on your golf course, you're doing okay.
You didn't come. I believe your presence was requested at Luke's coming-of-age ceremony at the Duke's Manor.
I'm not interested in some ceremony in front of Luke's grave.
That's why the both of you came here, isn't it?
He said he'd be back, so let the others sit around and tell stories at his grave. But I won't be joining them.
We should be heading back soon. The valley is dangerous at night.
Nah, I don't think Lorelei would let him die. Nah, Lorelei was too chill about it. He probably would have given him his own life. In fact, I would be surprised if I wouldn't have been surprised if he brought Ash back too.
Why are you here?
This place has a nice view of Hod. And also, I promised someone.
There's tears I saw starting to well in his eyes. I am. We were cutting it sure fucking close with that finish, weren't we? Jesus. But yeah, I guess to finish what I was saying though, yeah, 6.5 is like pretty good on my scale, I would say. It's like, that's like a game worth playing. But I will admit that a good chunk of that is my bias at play. And I could argue for reasons on why maybe it could have been an 8 out of 10 or whatever, but that's where I'll leave it. I think that honestly other entries in the series were definitely a lot stronger. They didn't have nearly as many writing flaws. Although, in all fairness, they didn't have nearly as complex an issue to tackle either. Benefit where benefit is deserved. Or that's a weird way of phrasing that. Anyways, again, English isn't my best language. It's my only language, but it's not my best. Anyways, but yeah, I think that's kind of where I sit with it. I think that there is definitely a lot of room for if they decide as part of the anniversary to remake or remaster or do something with this, if they were to alter some of the scenes similar to how they did with Destiny director's cut. In fact, I think that getting a director's cut of Abyss might actually be really healthy for it. If they were to like tighten up some of those ends, maybe make the end dungeon a bit more interesting, because honestly, it was very short and sweet for, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, Eternia's dungeon took us like hours upon hours to beat. And that was without failing. And I think I might have rambled a little bit, but like very long dungeon, very complete dungeon. And it didn't feel really long. It didn't feel like I was, when I was going through it, I enjoyed it. So on and so forth. What do you want? Discord? Actually, where did I get a message? What? Anyways. Oh. Wait, I did get a message. This is odd. It's on a server that I have muted, I thought. No big deal. They weren't messaging me, they were just messaging people. But anyways, sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah. Yeah, before anyone, gets on my case. I don't think anyone's going to get on my case. I think everyone my viewers are pretty respectable, and I try to be respectable back about the fact that I tend to be really critical of things. But at the same time, I know because we're uploading the VODs, there's a good chance that someone who isn't entirely familiar with how I do things or how I express myself with these kinds of things, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with liking Abyss, or even if you think that it needs a higher score or whatever. I realize that I'm playing these games much later in life. It's a lot easier to forgive things if it's your first time, and have nostalgia for it, for that matter. A good example of that would probably be something akin to the fact that when I play Dark Souls 1, there's a lot of horrible, messy, sloppy things that they could have fixed in that game before launching or releasing it. And I love all of it. And I forgive it for some things that some people fucking hate. But, so I get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's just human, whatever, right? But yeah, on that note, I think praise is deserved. I really like the ending sequence. It's always annoying. You mean Four Kings? Yeah, it's Four Kings. They are pretty lame. There's a lot of things in Dark Souls 1 that are lame, annoying. Like when I played through it, I literally complained like, "Oh, I fucking hate this area." Literally for every area. But I still fucking love the game. Explain that one to me. I don't know. But I said, well, not every area, but like a good chunk of the game, I'm like, I fucking and I have to do this part of the game. Oh. And then I do it and I'm fucking having a blast anyways. It's like, god damn it. Anyways, digressing. Nothing is worse than the Force in Bloodborne. True. Very true. entirely true. But yeah. That said, though, the ending sequence was great. Dying to a final boss is nothing short of fucking infuriating, but that doesn't have anything to do with the game. You could argue, I already made the argument that I should be able to skip cutscenes just in case I need to go back through them. Or just make me restart the battle like previous Tales of games used to. I don't see the problem in that either, realistically. But hey, that isn't necessarily something to dog on the game for. I would say that is entirely my fault for being a fucking scrub lord. How dare I? I should have been a fucking perfect gamer when playing the game. That's on me, I guess. But sorry, I don't mean to. I don't mean to be hyperbolic. I'm just being trying to make light. But no, all things considered, it was pretty good. There was a lot of proper emotions placed through the way that they handled the sound design, through how they handled the cutscenes. A lot of really interesting angles too, even for the in-rendered cutscenes that honestly were sometimes kind of cringy. Not for any fault of the game, realistically, just due to the fact that they were limited in their motions, so it made certain scenes look kind of weird. But whatever. That's not a criticism. That's just a age. Things sometimes don't age all that well, and whatever. But yeah. Ultimately, glad I went through the game. Glad that I played it, and I can now say that I played Tales of the Abyss. I want to profusely apologize for how triggered I was at certain things. I hesitate to say that word sometimes for context, but like I think it genuinely did. Like I lost sleep that night. I think it was one of those moments that like because I want to like these games more than anything. When something kind of like pushes me past the point of like, whether it's due to bias or genuinely being bad, being pushed past my point of forgiveness means that I'm gonna get annoyed, I guess. I also was really tired that night. Something to keep in mind. I took 3 days off in between now and the last time I streamed, because I was just fucking exhausted, and I gotta tell you, I feel fucking great right now, and I felt great those 3 days I took off. I just needed time for recharge, right? Like I wasn't taking it. And I think that ultimately kind of impacted me a bit too. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of things I could explain and talk about just to, for the sake of being fair. But as it stands, yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. This will probably be where we cut it. Somewhere around